everyone was talking about this record, like immediately. And we went from 1 month to the other. We were playing 10 times a month. Hi, this is Flash Mob. I'm at DJ Mag, and this is the making of Need and Me. I grew up in Milan. I was born in Turin. My mother would take me to England and we'd go to Liverpool, and she would take me to a vinyl store. So I started buying vinyls, started buying industrial techno. During university, I was DJing private parties all the time, always, but never thought I would be a DJ. I was probably expected to follow a different path. After I finished my studies, I went to London with 2 bags full of vinyl. I started playing in a club called Ten Mills, and then started playing around London a lot. Went back to Milan, used my connections to sort of try and get into the industry a little bit more. Started making music as Ego Stereo, which is an alias that I had for a couple of years. We're in my home in Milan. One afternoon, it just, you know, when things sort of come together. I'm not going to give too much of it out, obviously. The vocal seemed like a really, really good idea, although it had that more mainstream kind of, you know, feel. The way the vocal is used, the interaction between the synths and the bass line, they're all, and the open hit hats. The whole idea of Flash Mob, starting from a Berlin label with, you know, very dark photographs and all of that, the whole idea was to be, you know, really, really underground. And so when we had that vocal and the whole melodies came out and we started playing and we started having something, the doubt was, okay, we've just started and we're already sort of making a track that could put its head out on the mainstream. So we were like, are we going to use it? Are we not going to use it? Are we going to put the name? Are we not going to put the name? And once we'd finished the track, it stayed on my desktop for quite a while. I used to go on SoundCloud and check out whoever was looking at my profile at the time, and I could see Andy Daniel. He texted me saying, oh, we'd really like to license Brickhouse, and if you have other material, we'd like to listen to it. I said, okay, well then we licensed Brickhouse. I was thinking about the new material, part of his message, and one Sunday morning, I just sent it to him. I sent it when I was on holiday skiing. I remember the exact moment when I sent it and I got a reply like super fast with, oh, this is the advance. And at the time, the advances that I was getting were like with 1 0 less than what they sent me. So I was like, okay, am I understanding correctly? And that's how it started. And then next thing, Simon Dunmore flew us to London and he said, you know, we really want to work on this project, and it just went from there. It's very difficult to predict a hit, like a record that lasts 12 years. I mean, you're lucky if a record lasts 12 weeks these days. So the question was, if they're jumping on this so quickly and there's this advance and there's this determination in getting us to London, and, you know, it means that potentially this record is a strong record. We understood that. My final conclusion was that it was still an underground record. Everyone was talking about this record, like immediately. This is the truth. And we went from 1 month to the other. We were playing 10 times a month all over the place. It was like really, really fast. We signed the record in, February, because I was skiing, and it was released in April. By June, we were already heavy touring, just went on and on and on. See, you could see it at IMS with Pete Tong and Radio 1, and then you could see it with Kerry Chandler and all the other people at DC10, which at the time was the two opposites, no? And then everyone in the middle, like from Noir or Dennis Ferrer, all of the house tribe, and not only. You saw people like that play it, and then you would have the continuous radio BBC One support. You couldn't ask for more.
And we picked this because I think it's an early summer anthem. I can hear it in every glass bottom boat, in every bar in San Antonio, in every cool bar on the beach, and, you know, lunchtime jockey club and all that stuff. It's just going to be everywhere.
We Are Festival, the first edition, is when I really sort of took in the notion of how much people knew the track. One of the first times that I had the opportunity to play it in front of a like really, really big stage, that's one of the moments I will never forget, because it was very fulfilling. It was a very happy moment to see these people singing Needing Me in a very happy environment. It wasn't easy at the time to do a record that would stand out. It wasn't about a lot of the things that it's about now, no? Defected changed, the music changed, the industry changed. That track represented a great tracker in a very, very great moment, which slowly faded out and transformed itself into something else, which is equally great but different. It's always pushed by Defected, and I know a lot of people play it, and I get comments about it wherever I go every weekend. And for it to get back in the charts, it was in top 20. I didn't even know, and it's incredible. And then you have people that are now these days a big voice in the industry that talk about the track and that say that it's one of the best house records ever. It's a record that is not getting gold. If you want to ask me if I'm working on a 2025 version of the track, I might answer yes. Oh, it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one, but I've been playing with that for a long time, to be honest. In a way, I'd like to make a tool for it to be played in a current way, no? So without playing about with it too much. Because you can't touch, this is why the reason why nobody's remixed the track. You just don't mess about with a track like that, no? My biggest track. There are other tracks that I've done super, super well, but Needing Me is representing the core sound, no, with Brick House, the core sound of Flash Mob, the raw bass lines, the essential way that the tracks were built. Actually, as everything in life, you sort of go back to things, no? And I'm exactly there right now. It represents me.